Welcome back to Live at the Turf Shack. I am your host, Rebecca the Band, and I have two things today that I wanted to do. The first one is I have this mug that I got from Target, and I thought it would be fun if all four of my subscribers survive. Sorry. Okay. I thought it would be fun if you guys voted about whether or not this is a llama or a camel, because I cannot decide. I would love for it to be a camel because Rebecca the Band's official logo is a camel. But it could be a llama. I feel like it looks like it has like a little turf, like a, those little, I keep wanting to say drug rug, but I know that's like not even what it's called, but like a poncho situation. It looks like it could have like a Peruvian, I don't know, it has on some kind of clothes in this little gold thing. But at the same time, it could be a llama. So that's the first thing. Comment down below if you think it's a llama or a camel. Second thing is, I'm going to share a song that I wrote when I lived in the Bay Area. I lived there for about 5 years. I moved after I graduated from Carolina, and I lived with my older sister who graciously paid the rent a lot of the time while I got my life together. So one of the seasons I must have been either fun employed or underemployed, because I would like take super long walks in the Berkeley Hills. And I would take walks to Indian Rock Park in Berkeley, which is this park that is basically a giant rock, and it overlooks the bay. You can see across on a clear day, you can see across to San Francisco and San Francisco skyline. But on a foggy day, you can't really see anything but like the houses directly down below you. So that was like my jam, because I love being in nature. I love walking. I love that kind of hiking where it's like not sweaty and dirty, but just like the topography allows for you to really get a good workout, but you go at a pace that just kind of like helps you declutter your soul. So I used to do that a lot, especially when I wasn't working during the day. And on one particular occasion, I was there at Indian Rock Park, and I was sitting on the bench, and this guy came and sat next to me. Well, he wasn't a guy, he was a man. He was an older man. His name was Don Fuji, and he was a retired math professor from UC Berkeley. And so he started telling me like his life story about how he grew up in South Berkeley and just like the kind of like poverty and stuff that he dealt with. And he was of Japanese descent. And so he was telling me about what that was like in the 60s, and just his time in the military, going to war. And then he had used the GI Bill to go to school and earn his degrees in math to teach. And he taught at Cal for years, and he had 4 daughters with his wife. And their family just was like a Berkeley family. And he lived on one of my favorite streets in Berkeley, which is called Mariposa Street. I just love the vibe and the architecture of that street. And I used to walk it when I would go on my walks in the hills. If you're familiar with the area, then like Albany is like right there. But before you get to Albany, it's Berkeley still in the hills. And it's just so like peaceful and quiet, and it's like understated affluence, I guess I would call it, because a lot of times you look at like the cars in front of the houses, and like everybody and their mom drives a Subaru, and it looks like it could be one of those like car commercials where there's like a nice car in front of this like huge house, and you're like, who even lives there? So that happened. It has clearly stuck with me, and I'm not even doing the story justice, but it happened a long time ago, so it's just kind of like the paraphrase of it. It felt like a scene out of a Hallmark movie, especially because it's just like, I don't know, I wasn't expecting it, and it was clearly like the Lord using him to encourage me to not just get so frustrated with my life and just feel like, what is the point? But to just be faithful, to just stick with it, and to expect to see fruit in time. So this is what that song is about. That's what inspired this song. It has a parenthetical title. It's called Math, and the parenthetical title is Indian Rock Song, because that's how creative I am when I name my music. So, here we go. You can have what it takes. If you don't wrestle with So, also, not that anyone might be wondering, but the reason I'm like looking here and then looking here is because when I write music, even though I have this fancy new iPad, I'm like super old school. I have so many journals and I figured out exactly what my like favorite tools are. So I'll just tell you right now. I really like these RSVP pens. The fine tip ones, they're like my jam. Even though sometimes they're not like the most reliable pen, to be honest. And especially if I put on lotion and then I try to write, like it won't show up on the paper. I don't know what that's about. Probably like some kind of oils or something. But I really like those. And I really like fringe journals that I get from TJ Maxx on sale. So, although sometimes it'll be like compare at $7 and then the price will be $6.99 and you're like, I see what you did there. But so this is the one that this song is in. How pretty is this? It says create beauty. And this is, I'm kind of messy when I write, but it works out. Especially because I tend to be, believe it or not, I tend to be pretty polished in the rest of my life. So it's fun to just kind of be like, here's my current songbook. I decided to number them so that I can reference them when I do use like digital formatting to to catalog everything. So that's that one. And then this is one of the ones that I just write like sermon notes and life notes in. So yeah, that's fun. Lastly, this is impromptu, but sometimes when I get like halfway through a song, I'm like, I wish I had sang it in a different key. But I feel really like indecisive about it. I think because I'm still learning my voice and still like, it's a process. So I'm gonna play the song in capo 4 and you guys can vote about if you prefer it in 2 or 4. I think part of it is that I have a really soft voice. And so sometimes projecting can feel stressful and I feel like I'm not enunciating the lyrics, which are really important to me. Like the lyrics are really important to me. And I feel like a lot of times in folk music, because it is vocally forgiving, you don't always make out like what is the person actually saying. So we're gonna vote, you're gonna vote. I don't know what I think. You're gonna vote on capo 2 or capo 4 for the song. And is this a llama or a camel? All right, so here we go, capo 4. I'm gonna play like an abridged version. And by abridged, I think I'm just gonna take out some of the, you can have what it takes,